Well, that's a hard act to follow. Give me a break.
Please.
All right. First, I would like to thank the Patriot members for putting on this event. I think it's very worthwhile to the whole community. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to ask how many of you have had an opportunity to go on the website and see the Trinity County website, the brand new one with the candidate profiles. Can I have a show of hands? How many people have seen this? Well, I'd like to just call attention to the person that created it and who put all the website or the candidate profile material together, and that's my wife, Diane Rapp. She's done a wonderful job putting it all together. But as I'm reading through the different candidate profiles, it appears that there are two themes. And one theme is what I call is longevity. And that's when the candidate talks about how long they've been in Trinity County and how long they've been here with their parents and relatives. The other theme is knowledge. The candidate talks about what kind of knowledge can they bring or they will bring to the position that they're seeking. Now, in my position, if longevity is something that's really important to you, then I'm going to come up a little bit short because I've only been in Trinity County for a little over 10 years. Now, if knowledge is important to you, then I think you're going to see in a few minutes that my opponent is lacking quite a bit in terms of the knowledge to be the Republican chair. Let me ask just a couple of quick questions. How many of you have seen me in the last 2 to 3 years at a Republican meeting or a Patriot meeting? Could you raise your hand? That's quite a bit. How many of you have seen my opponent at a Republican meeting or a Patriot meeting? Well, as Perry Mason would say, let the record show nobody raised their hand. All right. How many of you, again, raise your hand, how many of you have had an opportunity to take Lindy Warren's class on becoming a voter registrar? Raise your hand. All right, I want you to see some of the people that have done this. Now, I did this because when I was asked to be the voting chair, precinct chair for Box 11, part of the duties of the precinct chair is to get out and meet the public and talk to them and promote the Republican Party. And I thought, well, if I'm meeting people, if somebody said I haven't registered to vote, I was right there on the spot and I could register right away. Now let me ask one more question. How many of you have in the past or currently are election judges? All right, I want you to look around because these are the people that really make the election work. And I was an election judge at Trinity City Hall in the Cowboy Church for 2 elections. Now, a couple of questions have been asked to me, and I want you just to ponder them. Being the Republican chair, once there was an opponent announced, everybody was calling me and saying, what has this individual done to support the Republican Party? And to be perfectly honest with you, I couldn't answer that question. The second question that kept coming through, whether it was email or on the phone, is this gentleman really a Republican? Well, again, I don't know this. This is something that's up to you to make that decision. But what I can tell you in the next 10 seconds is that I have participated in the Republican Party since coming to Trinity. I have volunteered my time to the Republican Party. I have donated money to the Republican Party. And if these factors are important to you, I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
What are you going to do in your next term that is different from what you have been doing? I don't even need to pull it out. It's just always there, isn't it? Good question, though. It's a good question.
But one of the things that I can bring to the Republican chair is that I have had now 5 months of on-the-job training. And this on-the-job training to be the Republican chair is it's just unbelievable, all the work that had to be done. And I would like to take a moment, and I think you should all appreciate Carl Dyer for all of the work that he did to put together the Republican Party. Can I have trying to say is I'm learning all of the things that need to be done, but I can tell you I can do them a lot better now that I've gone through them. This whole idea of trying to predict how many ballots per precinct, voting precinct, is a daunting task, especially, I don't know if you realize that locally we do not have a single Democrat candidate running. And the Democrat chair in Trinity County has resigned. And everything's been thrown over to the Democratic Party in Austin. And they don't even know where Trinity is. So there's a lot of things that can be done. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing. And the main thing is getting more people active in the Republican Party. Let people know what's going on, have more forums, so people can make their choices, make their votes really count, and not just depend on what I call longevity. Thank you.
He only had 2 questions. So, I'm going to go ahead and read this, although I think you've already answered this also. Sometimes these questions are a little repetitive. What are your qualifications, training, and credentials, etc., that you feel make you the best candidate for chairman of the Trinity County Republican Party?
Thank you. Well, if you do go on to the Trinity County Republican website and see the candidate profiles, you'll get a very detailed history of my background. But just in brief, I'm a retired architect and land planner. And I've had to deal with a lot of municipalities, a lot of POAs, a lot of state organizations. And one of the things that I've learned with being the Republican chair is you have to deal with the Secretary of State with all of their rules and regulations. And I think I've done a really good job. I've been ahead of the game on all of the things that they've requested. And so far, they haven't sent me an email saying you haven't done something and you're behind on something. But the thing is, we need to have precinct chairs. We have 20 boxes, voting boxes in Trinity. Right now, we only have 12 precinct chairs. The outlying areas, there just aren't people, and then we need to have people just so we can communicate what the Republican Party is doing. So in the coming months after the election, between now and the general election in November, I'm going to be doing everything I can to try and fill those positions, because the purpose of the election precinct chair is to get out into the public and make people aware of what we're doing and find out what they're interested in and what we can do to change things. Something that's going to be coming up and everybody is eligible for is that it's our precinct convention. Precinct convention is on March 19th, and if you have voted in the primary and you are living and breathing here in Trinity County, you are eligible to come. You are an automatic delegate. And you can come and you can pick delegates to go to the county convention and on up to the state convention. You'll have an opportunity to put together what they call resolutions. You can talk about what concerns you, what you want the state to know. So here's an opportunity for anybody that wants to get involved just a little bit in politics. Come on March 19th to the Precinct County Convention. Thank you.